One of the ways that I approach my collaboration with the actors is to really understand how they're going to play the role, what they're going to bring to the character. And with Wumni, it was a process of understanding what type of power she had in so many layers. The power of, just not only like her practice of hoodoo and Ifa, but also the power and the strength of a woman and being this person in the community that she lived in. She had this place of healing for her community where all of those things that made her who she was come together. She, for her community, was that person you go to for healing, for prayer, for solace. And this is a time when people didn't have doctors that they could go to if they were sick, hospitals they could go to if they were like delivering a child. So we imagined she was many things to the community, a midwife, a place of solace, and, a wise woman. And Wumni plays this character so beautifully. It felt very natural to make this costume that, had this organic nature to it, in its color and its dye and the beads that she wears, the mojo bag that she wears on her side, all of the tools she has. When we first meet her, this is a day in the life of a spirit woman. So she's adorned with, the things that she needs. She's got a knife on her side because she's a root worker. And also the beautiful way that the blues and the browns play in this scene, I think was just really important for showing the collaboration of like the mood and the performances and the skin tones and the colors that they were wearing. It was important not to stand out, not to distract from this very emotional scene between the two of them. This is a reunion between Annie and Smoke, and we didn't want anything to stand in the way of the sharing of this scene. It's very emotional also for Smoke. We see this man and this woman coming together. It's a beautiful relationship that we grow to see and understand, like what exactly is happening or has happened between the two of them. They buried a child. So the mood of the scene was very important that we not obstruct from it. We enhance it, we support it. And that's where the color palette came in. And, just back to her power, we see a real person. We see a real woman stepping out into the grounds of her place, of her shack. These are sharecroppers from the 1920s that we get to step into their lives and see the beauty of relationship, of love, of community, of survival. And as much as this feels, broad in terms of the evaluation of her, it's all the things that go into designing a costume. She wears the leke beads from the Yoruba tradition, and those beads are blessed. That's why she wears them tucked inside of her top, because they have a spiritual meaning. Everything she wears has a spiritual meaning. That's why I love this costume so much. We looked at other characters in film that have played these type of spirit women, and we didn't want her to be a stereotype. We didn't want to give her a turban and wrap a shawl around her waist and give her a dot for a third eye and like tell you everything about her in those ways that we've seen before. We wanted Annie to be her own woman and to actually be a little bit more relatable than a caricature of a root worker or a spiritual pillar. And I think that's what has come across. She's prepared. I think she's prepared. She's also vulnerable. There's a scene in the dialogue is so beautiful when he says, if you could protect me, how come you couldn't save our child? She says, I don't know. And that's just real. And so, how can you stand in the way of that? And I could talk about Haint Blue. We kept her blue. Her doors are blue. Her windows are blue. And Haint Blue is a color that is in more of the hoodoo tradition because it stops the evil spirits. It's like they can't go over water, so they are fooled by the bluish green color that is around the doors, and so they don't come in. And Umni wears a blue of swords that reminds us that she's connected to the spirits. If you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe.